We are team TODO Brownies. We have presented a project for the Embedded Systems course for semester 7. Our project is called SimSim. It is a smart home. My name is Abdurrahman Khalid, and these are my teammates.
My name is Omar Hussam, and I was in charge of the door opening in the room and counting the number of people.
Hello, my name is Asa Hamad. I was in charge of the room temperature regulation, aka the fan, and the temperature sensor input parameters.
My name is Tahir Safot, and I'm in charge of the lights and the buzzer.
Starting off the project, the user has to enter his house. To enter his house, this keypad should receive a password that allows him to enter. By default, our password is 0000. The user can then enter through the door. That opens the lights in the room. This motor should have a pulley attached to it that controls the door, raises it up, lowers it down. Once he entered, the light opens up. Now that he's inside, he can change his password by typing A and then choosing any 4 digits, for example 2525. That's his new password. So if he enters 0000 again, that fails. Well, if he enters 2525, that succeeds and opens the door yet again to a new visitor. The keypad can also toggle the lights in the room by pressing the B key. And it can also open the door from the inside by pressing the C button, which will close automatically after about 3 seconds. Now, the keypad works by using 4 pins that represent, 8 pins, that represent 4 rows and 4 columns. How the board knows that a key was pressed is that when a row and a column are both low at the same time, that triggers only that certain key to be low. And so we receive it as the only odd one out of the board.
Okay, so there is 4, I'm gonna explain to you the buzzer first, and there's 4 beeps for the buzzer, starting with a quick beep. Whenever you click any key on the keypad, they make a quick beep. This kind of beep. This kind of beep tells you how many keys you can enter in the keypad, and there's a limit for 4 keys you can enter, and then you cannot enter any more beep because you've entered already 4 keys. So, and when you click the star here to show, there is the failure beep, and means that you failed with the passwords that you entered. So if you entered the correct password, it will make the success beep. Okay, so it's not the wrong password. And this is the success beep, and it makes like 2 fast beeps. Yeah, so after that, when you start entering the room, first, the buzzer has 2 pins, one for the connected to this VCC and one for the ground. However, the ones that connected to the VCC, because the buzzer needs more voltage, we connected this to an out voltage that's 5 volt, and we connected to the transistor to control its sensitivity. And yeah, so whenever someone enters the room, the light starts to turn on. So now I'm going to talk about the lights, and how the assembly work is when you pass through the room, you pass through an IR sensor, and by passing through this IR sensor, it turns on the lights because now you're inside the room, and once you get out, it triggers the IR sensor and turns off the lights. So assembly, this is how it goes. And now the lights, as you can see, is turned on. And once you leave the room, you're also going to trigger the IR sensor and it's going to turn off the lights. So assembly goes like this. And now, as you can see, it turns off. And the list has 2 pins. One is connected to, the positive one is connected to pin 10 on the Arduino, and the negative one is connected to the ground.
Okay, so let me go through the air conditioning and the temperature sensor components. So first, the temperature sensor senses the temperature, obviously, and transfers the input using a very complex algorithm that we created to the Arduino. And using that algorithm, we should determine how hot or cold the weather, the general weather in the room. Depending on how hot it is, we should turn on the fan using the PWM. Okay, now let me go through the entire process with you. First of all, the fan needs at least five voltages to turn on. However, 5 volts are way too low for it. That's the lowest standard for it. And we already have a 9-volt power source. So what we decided is to give the fan a number of speeds depending on how hot it is. If it's too hot, then we increase the PWM and give it the entire voltage. As in, if it's an AC, that's as low as it can get. This is regulating the temperature to make it as cold as possible. The colder it gets, the lower the fan setting becomes, until at some point it closes off entirely. And this only works if the person is inside the house. Thank you. So let me show you how the temperature sensor works. Come over here. Okay. So this very small thing is the temperature sensor. The sensing itself happens under the house because our house is a basement level temperature sensor house. Okay, basically it gets its voltage supply from the VCC. The ground is connected on the right, and the output is connected through this cable to the Arduino.
Upon entering the room, the user will trigger the IR sensor like this, which will open the door for 3 seconds. Then it will hold, allowing others to enter, and then it will close. This holding process will allow for other people trying to enter the room. It will allow the door not to close on them. And if someone tries to intrude while the door closing, let me show you that. It will reopen the door, as you can see. Okay, now let's talk about the connections. Basically, here we are using a motor driver, a dual motor driver to drive the main door and the room door. The motor driver works by having 2 input pins, three input pins for each motor. One is an enable pin coming from the Arduino, and the other 2 are two opposite. They are pins for forward and backward motion, which one of them must be, which only one of them must be 1, and the other should be a 0, to allow motion in one direction. Lastly, there are two output pins coming from the motor driver to the motor as a positive and negative to make it rotate.